8 Creepiest Mythical Creatures from Around the World. In many countries, many mythical and supernatural creatures originating from traditional folklore are associated with this occasion. Stories about these strange and terrifying entities have been passed from one generation to the next, connecting people to their past. Number 1. Ushio-ni, Japan. Most Ushio-ni they resemble an ox from the head up, and a demonic horror below the head. They are exceedingly cruel and savage beasts, they breathe toxic poison, and they like to eat humans. Some Ushio-ni are lurkers, attacking people who draw too close to their lairs. Others are hunters, roaming the coast seeking prey. The cruelest ones ravage the same towns over and over, inflicting terrible curses or bringing diseases with them. Number 2. Manananggal, Philippines. The Manananggal is described as being an older, beautiful woman capable of severing its upper torso in order to fly into the night with huge bat-like wings. To feed, the self-segmenter chooses an isolated place where she will leave her lower torso while she hunts at night. When she separates from her lower torso, she then gains her ability to fly. She then goes off in search of houses where pregnant women reside. Upon choosing a suitable victim, the Manananggal alights on the house and inserts her tongue through the roof. The tongue is long, hollow, and extremely flexible. She uses it to puncture the womb of the sleeping woman and to suck out the fetus. At other times, she seduces men with her beauty and lures them to a private place before eating them alive. She usually eats the insides, like the heart, stomach, or the liver. According to legend, to destroy the Manananggal, one should search for the lower torso that she leaves behind during her nightly hunts. Salt, ash, or garlic should then be placed on the exposed flesh, preventing the monster from combining again and leaving it vulnerable to sunlight. Number 3. Baizi, China. A supernatural beast from Chinese mythology, the Baizi resembles a white ox with 6 horns and 9 eyes, 3 on its head and 3 on its broad sides. Though its appearance can give kids nightmares, it's actually considered a good omen and symbol of good luck, only appearing in countries where the leader is wise and virtuous. In Chinese myth, Baiz is a kind of snow-white color creature living in Kunlun Mountains and is able to speak human language. It can comprehend the nature of all living things. This mythical creature is rarely spotted unless the nation is governed by a wise king. Number 4. Baba Yaga, Russia. In Russian tales, Baba Yaga is portrayed as a hag who flies through the air in a mortar, using the pestle as a rudder and sweeping away the tracks behind her with a broom made out of silver birch. She lives in a log cabin that moves around on a pair of dancing chicken legs. The keyhole to her front door is a mouth filled with sharp teeth. The fence outside is made with human bones with skulls on top, often with one pole lacking its skull, leaving a place where she can threaten to place the hero's skull after eating them. Stories about Baba Yaga teach children about reverence to nature and its spirits. On the other hand, some people see her as an antagonist that kidnaps and enslaves those lost in the forest. Parents sometimes use her name to frighten their children from wandering far from home. Number 5. Chupacabra, Puerto Rico. Back in the 1990s, the legend of the Chupacabra, goat sucker in Spanish, began when goats and chickens turned up dead in Puerto Rico with their blood completely drained. The folk tale spread through Mexico and the US, where deaths of livestock also occurred. The Chupacabra apparently looks like a coyote with mange, a horrible skin disease. Other accounts describe it as a gray, lizard-like creature with large eyes, fangs, and muscular hind legs that help it walk upright. The Chupacabra only recently joined the vampire in the bestiary of blood-sucking creatures. Chupacabras were first reported in 1995, in Puerto Rico, where they were blamed for attacks on goats, sheep, and other domestic animals, supposedly leaving uneaten carcasses that were drained of blood. Number 6. Chimera, Greece. In Greek mythology, the chimera is a three-headed, fire-breathing hybrid monster with the head and body of a lion, the head of a goat on its back and a tail that ends with the head of a snake. The legendary beast is the child of Typhoeus, the mightiest and deadliest monster, and Echidna, a half-snake, half-woman creature. Ancient Greek and Roman art have often shown this beast being slain by the hero Bellerophon while riding the winged horse Pegasus. Like most chimeric creatures in Greek mythology, the chimera was a nasty piece of work. She had a terrible temper and no civilized instincts. She ransacked many villages, mostly killing cattle but sometimes destroying houses and slaughtering innocent people as well. The chimera was reputed to be near invincible, for she had the strength of a lion, the cunning of a goat, and the venom of a snake. But this monster's most unusual and deadly weapon, by far, was her ability to breathe fire. The fire spewed out from the goat's head and devastated any challengers who approached the beast. The chimera was also seen as an omen, of sorts. She often appeared before natural disasters, mostly volcanic eruptions. Number 7. Alp, Germany. An Alp is typically male. Its victims are often females, whom it attacks during the night, controlling their dreams and creating horrible nightmares. An Alp attack is called an Alp drug. Alp drug is when an Alp sits astride a sleeper's chest and becomes heavier until the crushing weight awakens the terrified and breathless dreamer. The victim awakes unable to move under the Alp's weight. This may have been an early explanation for sleep apnea and sleep paralysis, as well as night terrors. It may also include lucid dreams. The Alp is best known for its shape-shifting abilities, similar to the creatures from werewolf lore. It may change into a cat, pig, dog, snake, or a small white butterfly. It has also been said that it can fly like a bird and ride a horse. The Alp always wears a hat, giving it an almost comical poop. The hat is known as a tarn cape, the literal translation being camouflage cap, which is simply a hat that gives the Alp magic powers and the ability to turn invisible while worn. The hat is visible no matter what shape the Alp takes. An Alp who has lost this hat will offer a great reward for its safe return. The Alp also possesses an evil eye whose gaze will inflict illness and misfortune. Removing or damaging this eye also removes the Alp's malicious intentions. Number 8. Banshee, Ireland. A banshee is said to be a fairy in Irish legend and her scream is believed to be an omen of death. The scream is also called cown, which means keening, and is a warning that there will be an imminent death in the family. And as the Irish families blended over time, it is said that each family has its own banshee. Not all banshees are hate-filled creatures. There are some that had strong ties to their families in life and continued to watch over them in death. When they manifest themselves, these banshees appear as beautiful enchanting women that sing a sorrowful, haunting song which is filled with concern and love for their families. This song can be heard a few days before the death of a family member, and in most cases the song can only be heard by the person for whom it is intended. Other Irish mythology stories relating to the banshee say that she is the ghost of a young girl that suffered a brutal death, and her spirit remains to warn family members that a violent death is imminent. It is said that this banshee appears as an old woman with rotten teeth and long fingernails. She wears rags and has blood-red eyes that are so filled with hate that looking directly into them will cause immediate death. This banshee's mouth is always open as her piercing scream torments the souls of the living. According to some tales, there are evil banshees that derive pleasure from taking a life, and they actively seek out their victims and wail at them to the point where the person commits suicide or goes insane. There are even banshees that can tear people to shreds, and these horrific apparitions are what feature in modern-day horror films. It is important to note that banshees do not bring death, however, they warn of it and give the family time to prepare for the inevitable.